Hey everyone, it's Katie from Create Your Future. I am a law of attraction coach here, a certified life coach and meditation teacher. And today I have a success story for you, as well as some inner conversations that are going to help you get a brand new version of your specific person. So let's start with the success story, and then we'll go into some inner conversations that you can start to use now to create a new circumstance where you get a brand new version of your specific person. And this is especially if you are having a hard time imagining a version of your specific person that will treat you with love, that will always text you and communicate with you, a version of the person that, is agreeable and loving and kind and supportive. So if you've been getting an old version, or if you've had a long history with a specific person, with a lot of events that were, emotionally painful, it can be really hard at first to imagine a brand new version. But I'll show you how to change that so it's a lot easier. Okay. So this success story came from a woman that actually did a meditation of mine. So she had been doing coaching as well, but the story she sent me was through a meditation that she did. So one of the meditations that she took with me, so I do these live monthly meditations, or I have the recordings that you can listen to. It was one that was heavily focused on really visualizing a brand new version of your person, having inner conversations with a version of your person that really, it's brand new, right? And because she was able to be guided into this, and especially in a meditative state, there can be a little bit less resistance. She was able to transfer her normal inner conversation, which she said was arguing, into an inner conversation of love, support, gratitude, appreciation, right? And what she said, what she noticed is that she had been arguing. She really had this old version that seemed so stuck. It seemed like, there's no way I can get another version. And so I do find at first, if you are struggling with an old version, whether it's a guided meditation or getting into a really relaxed state to do inner conversations can be really helpful. Like getting the body to relax. Because even now, if you think of your specific person, if you think of the version of them that hurt you, the version of them that wasn't there for you, that didn't support you, you'll actually probably notice your body gets really tense. Right? There will be tension in the body, the heart might hurt, emotion might come up, anger, frustration might come up. And the way I look at that is that actually is your body telling you like, hey, we're focusing on an old version. It's time to change that. Because remember, there's infinite versions of your specific person. And even though one keeps getting played out, Neville calls it, we have these circular tracks of inner conversations that we're doing. And those tracks lay out all of our circumstances. He talks about our inner conversations create all of our circumstances. And so when we get into these patterns of fighting with our inner specific person, we're going to see it on the outside, right? Because what we do on the inside gets pushed out to the outside. Right? And it's just a habit, right? But there's a lot of emotion that can be built up with that, especially if they've hurt you. There's resentment. Resentment's a big one I'll see with clients. And so it's so important at first to allow yourself to get into a really relaxed state. So of course, I've been guided meditation on this subject can be particularly really helpful, right? And so what she did was she did this meditation, and she actually said 7 days later, she had to reach out to him because she had one of her items, or his items. And she called him, and she said in the email that normally he would never pick up, even when they were together. But she had been doing these meditations, she'd been doing her inner conversations. It sounds like she was on a really good mental diet. And he picked up. And not only did he pick up, he actually was saying how much he missed her. He was saying how much he cared about her. He was calling her babe again. Right now, so she's still in the process of getting this new version. But in 7 days, she was able to see proof, 3D manifestation of the new inner version she had been cultivating. And now something she did from that meditation is she imagined a clone of him, a twin of him. And I actually find this can be really helpful. Right? Again, if you have this old version kind of locked up in your mind, it might take a little bit to really imagine a brand new version. So that's a great way to do it. Like, imagine he has a twin. Imagine he has a clone, right? He or she has a clone. And that this version is so supportive. They're so loving. They're so sweet. They're so gentle. They're so providing. There's whatever it is that you want, okay? But it's a new version. And from this technique, along with inner conversations and meditation, she was able to get results. So what I want to do today with you is really create a brand new version. So let's talk about why this is possible first. And let's start with yourself. You're brand new in every moment, right? Neville talks about we go through thousands of states a day. I guarantee you feel different than how you felt when you first woke up this morning, right? If you look at what you've gone through today, no matter what time you're starting this video, you can probably know, I've been through many different states. I was confident at one point, then I was spiraling at one point, and then I was happy at one point, right? Or whatever it was. Because in every millisecond, you're brand new. You're going through all these different states. Now, you might have, like what Neville says, is these circular tracks of inner conversations about yourself, about your inner specific person, right? About what's going on in life. And that obviously causes these different states. Our inner conversations cause the states, right? But they're always changing. Right now you're brand new. Right now you're brand new. And it's the same thing with your specific person. Right now, I want you to imagine a version of your specific person that maybe angers you, frustrates you. Maybe you notice they haven't called today, they haven't texted. And right away, you can imagine that version of them. Maybe you can feel it too. But then I want you to take a breath and imagine a brand new version of them. And maybe it's actually one that when you first started getting to know each other, you saw them. When you saw them as brand new, right? You first met them and you just saw everything good about them. Maybe you found them really attractive or funny or charismatic. Maybe you allowed in a version of them that was so sweet to you, so kind to you. Maybe you had a version of them that really supported you. They loved communicating with you. Now, all these versions that you can imagine of your specific person are real, they're alive inside of you, and they're up to you to choose. You're only getting a specific version of your person on the outside because that's the one you're focused on the inside. And I guarantee you it's because you're having mental conversations with this version. Or maybe you are arguing, maybe you're fighting, maybe you're resentful, you're upset. Right? I know this client mentioned that she really had a lot of frustration, and one of her main arguments with her person is, how could you treat me like this after all I've done for you? And again, the tricky thing is with resentment or frustration or anger is you're giving up your power. You're forgetting that you created them to be however they were in that moment. No blame or shame, but take your power back, okay? You don't need to lose your power over this. So just like you created them to be a version that is less than lovely, you can change it you can have any version that you want. You get to pick the version in every second. How cool is that? Every second, you can imagine a new version. And of course, then we want to repeat and persist. We want to have inner conversations with the version of our person consistently. That feels good. That opens our heart, where our body can relax. Right? That, lives into our new self-concept. We're confident. We're the operant power. We're the god or goddess of our reality. But it's up to you to choose this new version. So the first thing that I advise clients to do is go ahead and just write down everything that's going on with your specific person that's frustrating you, that you feel resentful towards, that you have anger towards. Because if you feel it, if it's still there, if it's still showing up, that's okay. It's not a big deal. You created it, you can change it, but we do need to replace the version. You need to replace the inner conversations. You need to replace the thoughts. Right? A lot of my clients are like, well, what about letting it go? So letting it go is just letting go of these old thoughts, but we have to replace them, okay? I also find letting go, it's really more about letting go of the 3D and going within. Live consciously, as Neville says. It's about turning inward into your inner conversations, into your inner world, because that's where your power actually is. It's only on the inside that you can pick a brand new version. It's only on the inside that you can have an inner conversation with a brand new version. And it's only on the inside that it's going to get pushed out. Your inner 4D is your future 3D. That's where all your power is. And so instead of trying to change or manipulate this outside, or change the person on the outside. Let that go. Go within. Go within. And let's focus on the new version. So you would write down the version of your specific person that's frustrating you, that you have resentment towards, that's angering you. And you want to remind yourselves, my emotions are just letting me know that I'm focused on a version of my person that is outside of my desired reality. Because my desired reality is a promise. It is done. It is ready for you. And your emotions are always letting you know, where are you focused? Are you focused on the reality that's waiting for you? Are you moving towards it? Or are you focusing on thoughts and a version of your specific person that is less than lovely, that's outside of your power? And then all that needs to be done is to change it, to replace it. So let's do some inner conversations examples. So you can just put this practice, okay? So let's say one of the biggest complaints I hear, right, is my specific person is so stubborn. They're so stubborn. They're selfish. They're stubborn. It's all about them, right? They don't care about me. It's a big one. So again, I know it feels so frustrating. There can be so much anger and resentment, especially if you've been really selfless, especially if you've put all this effort forth in the relationship and it feels like they've given you nothing. So you can breathe into that, but remember, the emotion is just telling you, this thought is outside of my power. There's a brand new version of my specific person that's waiting for me, who is selfless, who puts me first, who prioritizes me, who cares about me. But I, as the creator of my reality, as the operant power, am the one that has to discover what they sound like, what they would say to me, what they would do. I have to visualize it. I have to live into that consciousness. I have to live in the end of it, because that is the only way it'll get pushed out. That is the only way I can bring them to life. So you want to replace the thought directly. All right, so if my specific person were selfless, if they always put me first, if they always put forth effort, what are some things that they would say to me? And this is where I like to, have my clients really go in. Imagine them as half your body. Imagine this brand new specific person. Maybe they look just like them, talk just like them, but they're brand new in this moment and they're here to love you and support you. This is who they want to be in your reality. Okay? And you're going to talk like you are them to yourself, because you'll notice you're doing it anyway. Okay? And they might say something to you like, hey, you are my priority. I love putting you first. I love thinking about your needs and wants. And I love meeting them. I love bringing you flowers. I love just texting you to check in to see how you're doing. I love knowing that I can bring a smile to your face. Right? I love planning my weekends around you and activities that we can do together. I love that I can just be there to support you and adore you. I love supporting our family. I love supporting our future. Right? And so, of course, you want to get specific about what your needs are. You want to name your needs and let them meet them. Because as you do these inner conversations, right, you're going to feel this new version of them. And then as you hear them saying, like, I love planning a whole weekend for you, your mind is visualizing it. Your subconscious is able to visualize this. And as this becomes dominant, it's going to get pushed out. Right? And this, of course, is where in meditation we do this in we get all the senses involved. So the subconscious can really just bring you into that reality. Because this reality already exists. It's already done. There is already a reality where your specific person is so kind, so selfless, so caring, so loving. Right? But as the operant power, it's up to you to choose that reality. But it's already done. It already exists. We just have to name the dialogue of it. We do the inner conversations and then we start to live in the end of it. This is living in the end. And then as you allow the subconscious to keep being imprinted with this new reality, you bring in more of the tones of reality, right? So what you would hear, what you would see, what you would taste, what you would smell, everything. So meditation is great for that. It becomes dominant and then it has to get pushed out, okay? And then I always encourage that you reply just like you would in any normal conversation. So this is where we go into our self-concept. Like, I'm the version of me now that has a partner that is so selfless, that is so supportive, that's so caring, that puts in so much effort. And so you're going to reply directly. Like, thanks, babe. Thank you for always putting me first. You plan the best weekends for us. You know exactly what I want, exactly what I need, and I can tell you love to bring this into our reality. I'm so thankful. I feel so happy. I feel so secure in this relationship. I feel so peaceful. So in the response, it's great to name how you feel. So your body can feel it now, because it's all in the now. Manifesting's all in the now. It's great to really get, again, specific about what they're doing. Really name it. And you want to do it in your own language. When I do one-on-one sessions with clients, or even in these meditations that I do, it's all about you using your own vernacular. You're using your own dialogue. So you're imagining how they would say this to you in a way that feels natural, feels good. And you would respond in a way that feels natural, feels good. Now, the one caveat to that is, at first, it might not feel totally natural because it's a brand new version of them. It's a brand new version of you, okay? So if at first it just kind of feels like resistant, like I just don't know if I'd say that, I don't know if they'd say that, just give it a try. Repeat, 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 persist. And the more you do inner conversations, the more natural it gets. And then you'll just start to notice what clients say all the time is then spontaneously, this new version of their specific person just starts to come in throughout their day. And they're noticing their responses are different. They're more confident. They're more secure. They're feeling more calm. Right? Because every inner conversation is invested thought. And once it becomes dominant, then you're going to see it in the 3D. So if at first it feels a little uncomfortable, that's okay. You're just changing into a new state, but stick with it. It's so worth it. Remember, repetition and persistence is the name of the game with manifestation, okay? So that's an example of a way that you can change an old behavior from a specific person into a new one, but you have to name it, you have to replace it. So today I advise just go ahead and write down a list of all the things that are frustrating you. It's okay, you're not going to recreate it unless you have a huge emotional reaction, right? Just write it down because it's already happening, it's already there. And then just change it. And what I notice is when clients and I do this together, they feel so much relief after. Right? And so if you hit a little bit of resistance at first, that's natural. It's natural when you're changing states. But write it down, give yourself 10 minutes to do it. And then go back to it like later in the evening. Go back to it the next day and just notice how much easier it feels already. How you really can start to imagine this new version because they already exist. It's just up to you to bring it in. Okay? So I intend this was helpful. If you want more support with us, feel free to sign up for a one-on-one session with me and we'll work on it together. Come to the live group meditations, the live group workshops, or check out the pre-recordings. They're all on the website, okay? Everything's going to help you really create these new conversations that will create a brand new circumstance for you with a specific person. And of course, you can do this with your health. You can do this with your finances. I've seen a few comments of people asking about that. So just to quickly speak to it, you can talk to money. You can talk to your body. You're doing it anyway. But hear it talk back to you. I love hearing, my body telling me, like, I love being healthy. I love, feeling so revitalized every day. I love this vitality. Like, learning to have a healthy dialogue with your body is so powerful, especially if you're not used to that. Learning to have a healthy conversation with money. Where money can tell you, like, I love providing for you. I love being abundant for you. I mean, there is nothing you can't talk to. You're having inner conversations anyway. You might as well consciously change them to your preference. So I intend you give that a go as well. So yes, check out the one-on-one with me. Be sure to check out my live group meditations, my live group workshops, or the recording ones. Then of course, there's my 7-day challenge. If you really want to master the inner world, give that a go. And then of course, my original is the Inner Conversations course, if you want to get really good at inner conversations. Okay, thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.